Hi everyone, my name is Steve and this is Stressbyte, a channel focused on awesome technology. In this series we're building a new PC based on D.Va from Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm. In our last episode we took a look at the case we're going to be using for this build, the Be Quiet Dark Base Pro 900, and we inverted it so everything is on the other side and upside down. You can check that out by clicking up here. In today's episode we're going to start building that system and getting it put into the case, and it's going to be quite the machine. At its heart is the new AMD Ryzen R7 1700X, a beastly CPU with 8 cores and 16 threads. That CPU is going to be socketed into Gigabyte's GA AX370 Gaming K7 motherboard. For graphics, we're going with the king, NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 1080 Ti Founders Edition. More on that choice in the next video. Since Ryzen is so sensitive to RAM speeds, we are using 16 gigs of Corsair's Vengeance LPX memory, clocked at 3200 MHz. Powering the whole thing is the Corsair HX1000i, a 1000 watt power supply that is fully modular with an 80 plus platinum rating. For storage, I'll be reusing the two Samsung 850 EVO SSDs that I have in my current machine, one at 500 gigabytes and one at 1 terabyte. That'll leave the M.2 slot free on the motherboard, which is a good expansion option in the future. And of course, this rig is getting water cooled. An EK Supremacy EVO block is going on the CPU, and I'm also using EK's Revo D5 pump and their X3 250 reservoir. Along the top will be going a 360mm radiator from Bits Power with 3 120mm PWM fans from Be Quiet. And lastly, we'll be using Primo Chill's Revolver SX compression fittings in this gorgeous sky blue, along with their True Infused Opaque UV Pink SX fluid. This is where a ton of that D.Va aesthetic is going to be coming from. You can find a full list of parts down in the description below. This already sounds like it's going to be a pretty awesome build, but there is still more to come after this video, so make sure that you are subscribed. And if you like what you see, do make sure to drop a like down below and tell me what you think. And so now, let's get building.
Right there in front of you, I've been right there waiting.
So unfortunately, this is where we're gonna have to leave it off today, but it is starting to look really good. I really like this inverted layout, the way it looks. It's got a very distinctive look to it aside from all of the upside down text everywhere. But you know, what can you do about that? We'll see if there's a way to work that out with some modifications later. Not a big deal, but you know, aside from that, it looks really cool. Once we get the fluid and the back door put in place, it's gonna fill in the left side with a bunch of color, which is gonna look just, I think, really great. These fittings look lovely with the overall color scheme that we're going for. Although they may be just a little bit dark, they look really, you know, bright on camera. They are a little bit more of a, you know, darker blue, but I think once we get like case lighting and stuff like that in place, then that's gonna be fine. So aside from that, all the parts kind of went in fine, aside from, you know, here in the corner here, this IO shroud, the Aorus logo shroud. It had a little bit of an incompatibility with the power supply tray, which is not installed right now, but when it's installed, that's where the power supply is going to mount to. Just a little bit of a collision there. We'll have to either just squeeze it in or move it around or Dremel something out, who knows. But aside from that, the basic shape of the water cooling loop should look like it's starting to take place here. Aside from one minor little incompatibility we'll have to work through, but we have our sort of reservoir pump combo here on the left. Coming out of that, we've got a 4-way splitter feeding into a drain valve, so we'll be able to get liquid out of the system pretty straightforward. It's probably not going to be the lowest point, so we'll have to do a little bit of rocking around, but hey, what can you do? Coming out of that, we're going to have our fitting go straight with a tube, go straight across, feed into the CPU block. Come out of the CPU, go up and into our radiator back here. Coming out of the radiator, going all the way across, and then feeding down into the reservoir. We might also change that up a little bit because we are going to be putting another 280mm radiator in the front here once that comes in, so we may have to have our radiator up top feed into that, or we may have coming out of the pump feed into that. Really, there was not a ton of challenge getting in aside from the water cooling gear. There was one minor incompatibility that we're going to be looking to fix, and that is with the radiator up top. There is just the tiniest bit of misaligned clearance. There's just not enough clearance to get our fitting put into place with the PCI tray sort of support structure. So we may have to swap our 280mm radiator with the 360mm and put the 280 up top and the 360 in the front. We may move the motherboard tray down, which we can do with this case. But for now, this is starting to look really good, and that's how it's basically shaken out. So that'll do it for this week's episode. I know we wanted to get a little bit further along than we got, but hey, you know, what can you do? I've never done water cooling stuff before, so you know, some of this stuff is new to me and ran into some problems along the way. We'll have to fix those next time, and that'll be interesting to see. If you like what you saw, do drop a like down below, and tell me in the comments what you think about the build so far, how it's looking, how you like the inverted layout, and let me know what kind of stuff you want to see in this channel in the future. We've got stuff around programming, gaming, home automation, running your own servers, all kinds of stuff coming, but I want to know what you want to see, so do drop a comment down below and tell me what you want to see from this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.